Hey everyone, it's Sonja Jones of GFP Financials, your Mr. Miyagi of Money, and welcome again to the From Chaos to Clarity, Unleash Your Business Potential podcast. And on this special episode, this is actually a pre-recorded episode from 2023 that I thought that would be a great fit for our podcast. And in this particular episode, I'm interviewing a former client of mine, Angelita Parham of SteeleDivine Cosmetics. And in this episode, she is sharing with us the testimony of being the recipient of a pitch contest prize sponsored by the city of Memphis in December of 2023. And so we walked through the process of her asking me for help with her pitch and her pitch deck, and just going through the transformation of her not only knowing her numbers, because she did have some numbers in the pitch deck before she came to me, but we also talked about some other numbers that we felt would be instrumental in her highlighting her business and the growth of her business, and forecasting projected numbers for the judges in the pitch contest. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope that it brings a lot of illumination and inspiration to you, because I promise you guys, if you take the first step to know your numbers, you will be just like Angelita and getting those pitch prizes, and those little C's can help you take your business from point A to point B. So I hope this helps. What's up, everybody? This is Sonja Jones of GIP Financials, your Mr. Miyagi of Money, and we're at it again. I'm bringing in all of my programs so y'all can hear from them directly about what we do and how we empower entrepreneurs to prioritize their numbers and position their businesses for profit. So the young lady that I have with me today, she taught me how to net twist my hair. And it just grew from there. And so I also want to make sure that a lot of the makeup and stuff that you see, especially my lip gloss, has been created by the one and only Angelita Parham, who was married to my friend brother, Parham, of SteeleDivine Cosmetics. So y'all give up round of applause. Woo! All right, so Angie, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we're going to get started on our conversation.
Thank you so much for the platform. I am Angelita Parham. I am the owner of SteeleDivine Cosmetics, and let me just throw in salon. I've been in business for about 20 years. I am a Jill of all trades. I just believe in skilling up. That way I always have a job and can pay myself, because more than likely that's who I'm working for. I absolutely love connecting and sharing with people. I think God has just given me a gift to I can pull anybody in, and I'm going to make you talk to me. I'm going to hear your problems, and I'm going to offer solutions. And then, hopefully there's an exchange there.
Love it. Love it. And yes, let me go ahead and just add in my hair plug one more time. My braids from Events Fest, Angie did.
Okay.
She sure did do, right? And so, yes, go ahead.
No, I said I did.
And hear it. Right. And Angie, I can attest also, like, when we get together, like, we're always it's like a mini mastermind in itself. Like, we're always, passing ideas off of each other. And Angie is also she's so gifted in marketing, right? And just problem solving all together. And man, and not only that, she's gonna tell you the truth, and she's gonna give you a good old hug right at the end. But just to definitely be a part of Angie's story and to see how she has grown and where she's come from, it's definitely just been an honor to be a part of that. So that's why I wanted to make sure that I had Angie on here. So I want to take y'all on just a little journey outside of hair, but we're going to definitely start with the brick and mortar, right? Because, yes, so Angie has a salon/shop, and it's beautiful and it's colorful and it's just all things chic, right? In the heart of Whitehaven, in the Southbrook Mall. And one of the things that Angie did for us at GIP is that she was able to allow us to get space in the mall to do our first live event on grant and loan tips. And just having that, and we had about 13, maybe 15 people there. And it was a like intimate space, but just the magic of having people just to share the type of businesses they have, and they just organically, everybody just start connecting and just talking about things. So it wasn't just, me sharing stuff, but everybody else was, talking about and sharing their experiences about accessing funding and things of that magnitude. Just, entrepreneurship in general, right? So just being able to really understand the benefits of connection, right? So like I said, this really just gonna be a segment of thanking Angie. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We're gonna be like, this is like, thank you, Angie, thank you, Angie, thank you, Angie. Right. And so just piggybacking on the grant and loan tips class, because we had so many people that were learning about funding, and we were talking about the importance of organizing your financials to get access to funding. So fast forward a couple of months, and Angie had the opportunity to pitch, because we talked about grants not being free and the different ways that grants look now. And one of the things that we talked about was pitch competitions, right? And when you're doing a pitch competition, those judges and potential investors, because you don't know who's in the audience listening to your pitch, right? The one thing that they're going to talk to you about are those numbers. There's no way around it, y'all. You got to know your numbers, and your numbers don't lie. So I wanted to definitely share this time to talk to y'all about Angie's experience with us working together to get her pitch and just really getting those numbers together to present to the judges. So Angie, you want to walk us through that process and how it was for you?
Yes. First of all, I just want everybody to know that you have to have a network of people. In my network of people, and the main person when it comes to numbers is GIP, Sonja. I knew in some type of way I was going to have to fall back on my girl. And it wasn't even a fallback. It was like a no-brainer. I need to call my friend because she is the smartest person I know when it comes to trying to figure out these numbers. So, all right, so I'm pitching, and these people are asking for everything all in your business. They want to know your projections. They want to know like how are you making your money. They want detailed plans of like how things are strategically coming in from different areas. They want to know your margins. What are you profiting? Because they want to know if you really know business. And one thing I can say upon opening up my shop, retail store, is that I do know business, but I don't know it in the area of the numbers. And so that's why you have to hire the gurus like GIP to help you with all of that. But what Sonja did for me was she kind of really turned the light bulb on for me to really help me to see, am I really profiting or am I just occupying space? And that's something you want to be cognizant in. Yeah, you can go out and get you a brick and mortar. You can buy all this product. But the thing is, are you really bringing anything in? Yes. $1,300 a month going out of my, pocket every month. And I'm paying myself, but I'm paying myself to pay the rent. And so now it's like, this pitch is here. I'm detailing it out. And then I'm like, I went blank. But, it told the truth. And again, when you learn the numbers, you really, it's almost like the numbers just going to tell the truth. And the truth going to set you free. And so I'm freeing myself from some things for 2024.
Right, exactly. And so just a couple of things that, and I'm going to say this kind of like in general, when you're talking about like doing grants, and that could be a pitch, it can be actual like traditional grant application. There are going to be certain things that are going to be asked of you, right? One is going to be your gross sales, right? How much are you bringing in before, your expenses and things of that magnitude? That's always going to be one, because folks just want to see how you're growing. Another nugget that a lot of investors want to see also is something called your profit margin, right? And that was one of the things that we talked about with Angie. In when your profit margin is definitely industry specific, so you have to know not just what you're bringing in a profit margin, but what the industry standard is, right? Because those investors are checking to see, right? One, if your profit margin is above standard or below standard, and if it is below standard, how are you going to get it to meet or exceed the industry standard, right? And so just the simple formula, we're going to go into it all the way, but what the profit margin is, as people are giving you money, for every money that they give you for a purchase, how much of that are you actually keeping? And that profit, right, is going to be used for you to pay your expenses, pay yourself, things of that magnitude, right? So that was one of the things that we talked about. And we also talked about, of course, the gross sales, but just, thinking about when you do that math, you also have to think about strategy. Because that's why, too, another thing that I tell, entrepreneurs as well, and this is just, I'm getting on my soapbox here. When it comes to grant applications and stuff, you the entrepreneur, you the CEO. Can't nobody tell the story about what you do for your business but you. I love grant writers. We assist in grant writing to a certain extent, but our bread and butter, how we shine is really shining, on the numbers and helping you create your financial narrative, right? Because you can't just be, I just want some money. Give me some money. It's going to come out the sky, right? They want to know why you want the money. So that's why your plans have to, make sense. So once you start making your plans, then you can work your way backwards. And you can just take that and run that play over and over for every grant application that you have. So Angie, talk to us about once we get, the numbers together, kind of walk us through some of the questions and stuff that the investors asked you about your numbers.
So, I pointed out like what the industry standards were, and I was able to explain my way around why I was maybe, what was it? I think we were at 28%. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty much 20% less. Let's just use that number. And so so when I opened up, I bought I purchased a lot of retail items. I had to get in the building. I had to buy the products. The marketing had to be done. It was a lot that went out. So that could affect your numbers. And so if you're able to explain yourself, then sometimes the judges are a little bit lenient. And they feel like you have time to grow and regroup, from that, as long as you can sell their product. And if those engagements that you're doing is helping to get your brand out there, they feel like, you can come up to those levels. But they asked a lot. I think they asked during the pitch, like, is your products made in America? I mean, how much are you selling? How much are you purchasing at a time to get that price point down? And you got to understand, like, I'm a small business, so and a cosmetic brand. So think about like ColourPop and like MAC. They're able to use their manufacturer. We'll go to their manufacturers and say, hey, I want 100,000 pieces of this to go into our retail stores. 100,000 pieces for them may be 25 cents. 25 cents for a tube of lipstick, and they resell it at almost $40, depending on which line of lipsticks that you're buying from them. Whereas I am buying it at a higher rate, which affects my gross margins. So you got to really think about like going in, what you're going to set your price at. And I did. I looked and I did the research on, I believe, Fenty, MAC, and it was another company. And just to see where they were. I'm there. But the thing is, I'm paying more than they are per item. So, again, I had one person say, well, why don't you just open up a line of credit? Well, how about everybody don't allow you to have a line of credit? They want their money. Everything changed during, the COVID pandemic. And so now people are like, the economy is sketchy. These smaller brands, they probably can push it. But for them, we want our money. For these bigger brands, we know we got them. They build a rapport. They're everywhere and nationally, whereas I'm trying to build and grow to that. And so that's how they're looking at this stuff. They want to know, like, how are you marketing? How much money went into marketing? They want to know. They asked me about my social media. I'm like, oh, I'm like, social media plays a big part because let's go back to the numbers. If your engagements and following is high, then they can pretty much gauge that you should be at this amount, making the money. And I'm not into fudging anything. Like, I'm going to tell the truth about it. I'm striving to grow. Like, I see myself growing. But if all of this just made me realize, not that I wasn't doing good business, that I may need to pivot in a way to where I'm really making the money that I desire to bring home. If I'm going to do it, I got a husband and I have children. If I'm going to do it, I want to be comfortable doing it. I don't want to have to be tight on change sometimes, and not that it's killing me, but it kills you to see that you're overexerting yourself 8 to 5, and then probably extra 4. Let's account. Let's say I say probably a month, extra 30 hours with outside events. So that means I'm never at home. I'm always busy. I'm saying no to, functions, meeting up with my girlfriend. So there's no downtime. So if I can do it all over again, I would do it just a little bit differently. Studying your market where you're planning on opening, studying how much it's going to take you to get open. That's and it's so vital because, you know me as a business, advisor anyway. So it's like that business plan, you got to jump right back on that thing. Your business plan it's going to end up pivoting a lot anyway, especially if this is your first go around. Your year 1 may look very different from year 2. Year 2 is going really, year 5 going to look very different from year 3 because you've had time to grow. But y'all, when you decide to go gusto into your first year of business and you ain't taking time to really breathe and think about stuff, because sometimes these jobs, and I'm just going to tell the truth, these jobs will make you get gone. And so you're not trying to prove to them that you could do anything without them, but what you're trying to do is prove to yourself, I got what it takes. And so you're giving your all, but then you're killing yourself to do it. And you're taking more risk than calculated risk, and I want to be very calculated. That's why I'm like, and we pivoted in 2024. So I'm just being real about it. So it takes, what this has made me do is halt. Remember, Coming to America, he said, so we halting, I have several endeavors. And that's another thing. Can I touch on that too? So we got a lot going on. And I can remember talking to this lady. She was like, it's okay that you do 2 and 3 things, but something is going to have to be priority. Mm-hmm. I'm in school full time for marketing. I am trying to keep this shop afloat. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to pay back loans, so I have another job. That's just being real, and I don't. Right. It's nothing embarrassing about that. But what I tell the other students in my class is, you don't want your business to fail. This is something you're passionate about. So it's not. No, you don't just up and close. You do what you got to do to make it happen because this is your passion. So I got the wheels turning while I have your attention, please. Mm-hmm. Watch me pay off these loans because next year when projections come, I want to be able to say I was at this threshold. I want to be able to say, hey, debt didn't last that long. I can't stand taking debt into the new year. So that's what I'm doing. I like being smart about stuff, but I like to keep my overhead low. And so that's what I'm trying to get back to. And when I say pivoting, overhead about to be real low. And we about to strategically really do this thing. And so if the ultimate goal is to get into the big stores, then that's what we finna do. We finna focus on getting in the big stores. What does it take? So there you have it.
Oh, and just put on a whole masterclass. That's why I ain't saying nothing. I'm just sitting there. And one more word. but that's the fruit of knowing your numbers. And I know Andrew well enough to know that she was already planning before the pitch. But sometimes you have to be in environments, and exposure is everything. And being around people that are going to ask you those questions that you hadn't thought about, for you to have to, because I think the part that really was just gold for me, what you were talking about, was just talking about like the spending, the return on investment. That's another metric that you got to be familiar with, right? Because how much money for every dollar that you spend, how much are you making and bring it back into your business? And sometimes you may have to do a deep dive into how you're purchasing your goods, your cost of goods sold, and stuff like that, right? And then you also have to think about, like she was saying, though, the larger retailers can, buy in bulk for a cheaper, per unit, right? If you're a smaller business, sometimes it's not going to be as feasible. You're not going to get that big of a bulk discount type of deal. So how do you deal with it, right? So you got to really think about some things, right? Without sacrificing the quality that your customers are already used to, and things like, you got to think about a lot of that. Because even like with us with GIP, like this year, we have done like surprisingly, like I didn't even realize from a coaching and a mentoring workshop perspective, our income this year just on that alone was just crazy. And so just like what you were saying, Angie, sometimes you have to think about that too when you're thinking about pivoting from a place of scaling, right? Mm-hmm. What thing are you going to focus on, right? Or at least make one thing the main thing. So as that thing, you set that thing on autopilot and it overflows and it's able to take care of all the other endeavors that you got going on, right? So that's what your numbers will do for you, y'all. Yeah. You got, like you said, you got to put that work in and be ready to be brave enough to have those conversations. And as we all are CEOs, you got to make the decisions, including your own way of being, right? Because sometimes we do have to sacrifice it, do things, for the sake of the business. Ain't nothing wrong with it at all. But if you put that end goal in place, then just run the play. Hey, if you're an entrepreneur who's currently working a 9-to-5, I know you've been thinking, how much is it going to cost me to quit this job and become a full-time entrepreneur? I like to call this phase of your journey fight to flight. So when I was working full-time for charter school and I was in fight to flight mode, here's some of the things that I experienced. You let me know if you can relate to some of these. One, I was constantly listening to podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks, and even attending workshops, experiencing people who have actually made the transition. But deep down in my heart, I didn't know if I actually had the chops or even the courage to make the move. Second thing, when I was at work and having a bad day, I was always thinking like, God, give me the strength. What's the plan for me to leave my job? And then another thing that I did was I always thought, like, the amount of time that I'm putting into my job, if I took that time and put it from my job into my business, I wonder how much extra money would I make, right? You understand what I'm talking about? So the reason why you're probably stuck now in fight to flight is because you're probably experiencing some of these other things. Check this out. One, ask yourself, have you officially made your business a formal business? Do you have an EIN? Have you applied for a business license? And most importantly, have you set up a business checking account for your business? Two, are you currently commingling, meaning that all the money that you're getting for your business is not going into that business checking account. It's going into your personal checking account. And if it is, then the third thing, you don't have any real concrete information about how much revenue your business is bringing in and the expenses that you're paying towards your business, meaning you don't have any real definite data about your profit. And then most importantly, if you're really trying to think about leaving your job for full-time entrepreneurship, you don't have a personal budget in place, which in a nutshell, if you don't have those things in place, there's no way that you're going to be able to get what I call the magic profit number to know how much money that you need to save or how much money that you need to bring into your business to be able to pay yourself so you can still maintain your lifestyle. So if you are in fight to flight mode, I have a free ebook on the free financial freedom roadmap, and to help you get to that place where you can create your exit plan and go ahead and start thinking about putting yourself as a full-time entrepreneur for real, for real. So if you're interested in that, click the link below and download that free financial roadmap. I look forward to partnering with you. All right, you ready to go back to the episode? Okay, let's get it.
Yeah, run the play. So what I've done is, while I was trying to play tailback, quarterback, tight end, played a linesman, I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw the ball. But I know what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. Just look at the end goal. Whatever the end goal is, that's what you need to be striving for. But then you need to really have a strategic plan and always have somebody that's smarter than you, that run numbers and that has done this thing that can really help you to stay on your track. Because I wasn't expected to open up this store as quick as I did. And so that got me off my track. And so now that I'm back on track, we finna cut some things. We got to cut a player. So I'm cutting, one of the linesmen because I wasn't doing that good in that position. I played sixth grade football. Okay, so let me just tell you, I got the trophy for the MVP. I know, right? I'm going to send you the picture. And so the thing is, I know I can run. I'm going to run with the race that God has given me and the vision that he's given me as well. And I like to speak about faith. I ain't trying to take over your show, but you got to stick with the vision that God has given you, because so many people will get in your ear and try to tell you what you should do, going from point A to point B to Z. And you got to say, I got a business plan. God has already shown me the key people that's going to help me get there. You got to not be overly cocky about this thing. Yeah, it's great to brag about you got a business, but do you really have a business? Because if you're not making the money, honey, please go take several seats. Because some people say it's embarrassing to close a shop. No, you got to do what the goal is. Whatever the goal was, that is success. It's not success when you are, okay, I'm going to use the word dumb. You don't want to be dumb and stay in a position, where it is causing you to rethink life. Depression can come out of it. If you got a spouse, they looking at you like, what we going to do? What's the next move? Because this ain't working. So you got to rethink it. Get back on your track. Stay on track. Have the right people around you that can help you make moves. Now, if I hadn't seen those numbers, guess what? I knew it was tight. I felt it and I was making it. But it helped me to see you need to rethink some of the stuff. It helps me. Okay, so with us having a service, we have makeup, we have lipsticks, foundations, eyeshadows. It helped me to see what products was moving the fastest. They asked me all of this. So what's your growth? You say you service men, women, non-binary. Show me. Mm-hmm. Well, women account for 84%. The rest of it was male. Show me how we're going to move that up. If that ain't working, then guess what we need to do? So, again, I said we pivoted. So we taking our highest, gross and products. And that's what we finna focus on, trying to get in the big box stores. So come next year, it may not be a retail store. But guess what? The Lord will let you try it. before people get to buy in it. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to buy my idea. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Buy the idea. So it's like the big goal is, what's your goal? If you asked me 8-9 months ago, what's the goal? Oh, the goal is to get in Walmart and Target. I'm glad God gave me the experience to see how it runs. I'm glad God gave me the idea to go work for Target at night to see how merchandising actually goes, because this is what I do. I'm glad God is helping me to see how we put stuff on the pegboards, how it looks. Like when you go, like we're actually getting on Range Meat to pay a retail broker. They want to know your dimensions. They want to know, who made it. Is it made in China? Is it made in, USA? And some people say, why don't you just go with somewhere, go with China? Yeah, you can get your stuff cheaper in China, but the quality may be very different. It may be some stuff in there that you ain't even supposed to have on your body. So it's like, you got to make decisions. Are you going to stay with the people you with and grow, or if you're going to do something cheaper and people be like, it ain't the same quality. So it's so many things to think about. It's so, help me get back on track. Where we at now? I'm sorry. I just like telling the truth, but then in my transparency, it's like you get to hear yourself. And because that's what's in my heart. So, it ain't no issue, but what's in your heart flows out of your mouth. Like, I'm being real. I want to make money. If I say I'm going to be wealthy and well off and able to take care of my family, then guess what? You got to pivot. And that's success in and of itself, that the light bulb came on and you were able to gather. Because some cocky folks will be like, I ain't letting this go. Baby, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go so we can grow into where the space we're supposed to be. And a lot of people, I don't have no pride, because baby, I'll walk away. But what I'm going to do is walk away with the experience. And that's the greatest thing. You ran a retail store. I ran a retail store. I did makeup classes. I created ways to make this thing work. That was fun. And it's still, you still can contract me out for weddings and photo shoots and things like that. But guess what? I'm focused on the end goal. And the end goal is to grow nationally. So how do we grow nationally? By knowing your numbers, by connecting with people that's smarter than you, that can help you to understand what the numbers should look like, by understanding what the industry, gross rates are and the profit margins are and where you should be. And see, that was something I didn't even think I really took into account. You said, well, what was the industry profit margin? Google, what was the profit margins for a cosmetic line? 53%. And if I'm at 28, we missing some money. Where the money at? And I think you told me, well, Andrew, you actually bringing home this much per item that you're selling. That means I'm poor. And I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be poor. In my mind, I'm rich. I act like I'm rich, but the richest people are those that take time to give back to others. And so that's what you imparted in me. That's what I'm doing here on the screen, imparting it back into your guests. Do not be poor. Do not be dumb. And dumb is simply not following the directions, not following the direction that God gave you, not thinking about the end goal. I mean, if he has given you many talents, why would you go hide it? Why would you not try to multiply it? Why would you not be a good steward of it? I mean, I ain't no drug dealer, but we know they'll chop it up and sell it so many different ways. So guess what? SteeleDivine, we're going to chop it up, sell it to you different ways. You're going to get it online. You're going to get it at pop-up shops. You're going to get it in Target and Walmart. You're going to be able to buy the services. You're going to be able to go to YouTube and do the videos with us one-on-one. Here's the thing. Chop it up, serve it to the community in a way that God is pleased with it. He is not pleased when you are broke, busted, and disgusted. And he has given you everything that you need. And so that's the sermon right there. Amen.
Amen. Oh, my goodness. Care. What am I supposed to say behind it? I mean, there's so many nuggets. First of all, it's always going to be obedience over trends. You got to get locked in. Right? If God gave you an assignment, right? There's going to be so many things, especially on social media, but you're going to have to put some blinders on right?
Yeah.
Because even in the midst of it, and one of the things Angie said was just go with, as far as just making sure when you stay on that assignment, although people are going to be, telling you kind of what the hip thing is now, things like that. Unless God told you to do this and take whatever that assignment is and distribute it and interpret it in XYZ way, that's what you have to do, because that's where your wealth is coming from. Not sitting up here trying to copy where everybody else is, because you got to remember, your business is your gift to the world, right? And only you can do that. So technically, you sit up here trying to chase everybody else, don't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Either way, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And that's just the ground that you sow in. You got to really think about that, because the ground that, again, that's just knowing your target market. The ground that you sow in is going to hurt or make you. So if you are in a whole target market that's not even interested in your product or brand, you're in the wrong territory,
Oh, yeah, that was another too. Yeah, for y'all that are selling services and products, go back and check 2023. Find out who's purchasing your stuff. That's how you find out your target market, your client avatar, right? It's that. And then start. There's different points where you can start, but that's going to be your priority right there. You got to know who you're selling your stuff to and who's taking on, right? So when you market, you know who you're marketing to and stuff like this. So, man, Angie, we got to come back and do part 2.
Okay, just let me know. I mean, part 2, we can do it. But Sonja, you know what? I really appreciate the conversation, because, again, a lot of people are not real with themselves. But when you can be real with other people, and it's so many blessings behind it, because you're saving folks that won't even say nothing. It was kids in class that would never ask the question because they thought it was dumb. No, let's talk about it. Let's full transparency. Let's undress, because I'm being totally naked right now, and unashamed. Baby, pivot. Do what you need to do. Sometimes pivoting just stretching. We just stretching to the end goal right now. I'm like, what was that little thing you could stretch? It was a toy. You could stretch it all out of whack and place, but it'll go back.
The slinky.
Right. The slinky, baby. I'm going up the stairs, walking down the stairs. I'm coming back together. But when I come back together, I'm completely whole. And that's what you want to be. You want to be whole, sound in your mind, your body, and your spirit. I don't want to be at church messed up, paying these tithes on all this money I made, only for it to have gone to the rent. Come on now. Lord, you said 10%. That 10% kind of hurt. But God says he will bless the works of your hands. And if he's going to bless the works of your hands, again, you got to follow his plan. And so I'm just, look, the plan was already in the garden with my Adam. I'm supposed to be a helpmeet. But I know some of y'all ain't even got to help me. So God is your meat. You get what I'm saying? God, I need you to meet me where I am. So outside of that, I want to kind of go back to the pitch. You mind?
Yeah, let's go back.
And so we pitched twice in one day, a blessing for $10,000. The first pitch we'll find out December 15th. So that may be the day, the day after we do the second conversation. If you want to, we'll know with the city of Memphis. And the second pitch, I knew I lost, but the feedback that I got, it was like, well, you pitched well, you gave good information. I kind of think I did better than the people that won. But they had true growth, profit margins. And why would you give money to somebody that's suffering? Because if you're suffering, that tells me you don't need to be in business. But I got great feedback. Like, they can see it working. We just need to define some things more. Matter of fact, it was something that we left out. You was like, we only had 4 minutes to pitch. They was like, if you had broken down everything of how this money came in, you probably would have had a chance. But it's okay. You growing. You made it what was it, 12 of us or less than 12 of us? Y'all made it to, out of all of these people in the city of Memphis, and pitched for this 10,000 in front of this, I'm going to call them a prestigious, when you are old and white, because it was pretty much predominantly white. It was some black folks. But when you come at them, you got to come a little different, especially if they done been to business school, because in their mind, they already adding and subtracting and kind of got, it's like a car salesman. They already know the ins and outs of how to, figure this out. Figure out your numbers before, when you give them the numbers.
Right.
But one of the winners was like, I don't know if I was mad. I was more anxious that more relieved that we got it over with. All the nerves went out the door. If you give me center stage, I'm going to be center stage. I promise you I will be. And somebody donated us $1,000. Boom. Just by showing up. So I'm just like, you never know what God is going to give. He's going to give you a return if you remain faithful. Now, what if I had dropped out? Come on now. Ooh, so December 15th, we'll find out what's going to happen with this, with the first pitch. I told them I wanted the full 10,000 coveted amount. So y'all be praying for that. I got some great competition, but I want the full $10,000.
Love it. I say you have not because you asked not, man.
Have not because you asked not. And I got great feedback on that one. But again, it was that profit margin. The man was like, can't you open up a credit account? Mine. You can't tell me to open up no credit account because these folks got to get paid back. You going to get this money when I have the money. And we're going to keep it moving. If product needs to be out of stock that day, it needs to be out of stock until we can get this money. So, again, make sure y'all keeping track of the loans that you're taking out. Again, that's what I'm working to pay off now because I don't want no debt going over into the new year. And that's where we at.
I love it. I love it. So, y'all, you heard it here from Angie. I mean, she gave you so much and I challenge every entrepreneur to at least, get out of your comfort zone, apply for a pitch contest, apply, for a grant application or something like that, because that's the only way that you're going to really see your numbers at work and see how, folks on the outside looking in, right, that have experience, right, like Angie was saying, when she was going through her slide deck and showing them numbers, folks are already, going this, that, and the third. Because if they're willing to invest in you, they have to make sure, right, on their end that they're going to get a return on investment, because although it might be coming to you as a grant, they still have to report, how you're using that grant. And if that grant's not helping you to get from A to B or make you better, right, then they are going to have to be held accountable for that. So they have to make sure that they're investing in businesses that already, and those numbers don't have to be perfect, but they at least have to show that they're, moving in a particular direction. So the only way you're going to be able to know that is to even step out and do that. So Angie, we're about to close out. So I'm going to ask you one question, because clearly you have already, expressed how GIP has helped, SteeleDivine Cosmetics and Salon, right, with your, pitch and being able to scale your business. But there are some entrepreneurs out there that don't have any accounting, methods out there. They just kind of, maybe they're a startup and they're just like, man, I don't know what, I hear y'all talking about getting a bookkeeper. I hear y'all talk about getting an accountant. I don't know where to start. I don't know if I can afford it. What advice would you give them?
The thing is, sometimes you got to take it bit by bit. If it's a $10 class, if it's a $30 class, piece it together until you can do better, because everybody's on a budget. I know you did the Black Friday $9.97. Girl, you know how I felt like I was like, I want to bless my friend with this $9.97, Lord. Woo! But here's the thing, we working our way up to it. The more we exchange, because we do, I won't say we do a lot of exchanging together, but you and I have exchanged. We've been transactional with each other, whether it be conversation or you helping me with something, I'm helping you with something. The thing is, it's getting there. So the more you scale, your friends should be benefiting that have businesses, because guess what? That's your network. So if you grossing $100,000 and you got a $997 class, even if I'm grossing $60,000, I can put $997. Give me a second. Can I break it up? Look, sometimes you got to chop it up. Here go both payments.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
On it. But GIP has helped me. I've benefited from it in so many ways. And sometimes I can't even get on the call, but the replays, it's value in a replay. It's value in good content. It's value in somebody breaking it down and explaining numbers and how this thing actually works, and what accounting QuickBooks software, look like, and how it could be connected to your bank account, making life easier for you. You be all over the place. That ain't even my forte. I don't want it to be. But guess what? If you're in business, you need it to be. And if Sonja gonna help you to connect these things to make this stuff, make the processes easier for you. So when you go apply for that loan, they ain't looking at you crazy because you need your P&L. Yeah, I know what P&L is, right?
Hello.
Look, get somebody smarter than you. Ask the dumb question that you think is dumb, because the teacher is right here, obviously, and she's trying to give you the plug. So look, take it. It's like candy. When you get to understanding it, it becomes sweeter, sweeter, sweeter. But then she got this whole library that's about to drop. Y'all gonna be able to access it on your own, and you won't need her anymore unless you got some pertinent questions that has got to be answered. But don't short yourself. If you're gonna do business, be about your business.
That's right. And thank you for that. And so, just like Angie said, one of the things that GIP Financials, our mission is to empower entrepreneurs to prioritize their numbers and position their businesses for profit. We cater to the startup as well as to the season. So we have those $10 classes with the replay. We got the $997, boot camps and things of that magnitude. So we have products and services that cater to everyone. But don't let your budget be the reason why you cannot, or you think you can't get subject matter expertise. Not GIP Financials. We got you, right? So, Angie, thank you so much. Let the folks know how can they get in contact with you and buy all this wonderful stuff and get their hair did and all that. How can they get their makeup did, get the face beat?
Yeah. All right. So we're at SteeleDivine.com. Definitely find us on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, I forgot TikTok as well. SteeleDivine Cosmetics. It's so easy. I mean, Google reviews, we at 5. Come get your hair fried, dyed, laid to the side. Come get it braided, get that makeup done. Bottom products. Thank y'all so much.
All right, y'all. You heard it here first. Thank you so much, Angie, again. And stay tuned, y'all. So we are going to be doing some particular things. 2024 is up, y'all. So expect some new things to roll out for GIP Financial, and we can't wait to share those things with y'all. Have an amazing one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank y'all so much for listening to the From Chaos to Clarity Unleash Your Business Potential podcast. Again, I'm Sonja Jones of GIP Financials. You're Mr. Miyagi of Money, but I got a couple of homework assignments for you before you leave this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also leave a comment and let us know what your biggest takeaways were from this episode. And if you are looking for bookkeeping assistance or you need a money thought buddy, make sure that you go to our website, www.gipfinancials.com, and click on the schedule a consultation button at the top of our website, little green box. And you can schedule a discovery call and talk to one of our teammates to see if we're a good fit. All right. See you guys on the next episode. Take care.